Hi there. Today is an exciting day, and that's because we're going to plant tomato seeds. In addition to tomato seeds, I'm going to plant some eggplants, and I'm going to replant a few of the peppers that didn't germinate. Now, if you recall from previous videos, the pepper seeds that I'm talking about are some seeds that I saved from the garden last year. I'm going to just try one more time to get those to germinate. If they don't, I'll just toss the seeds. All the other pepper seeds that we planted did very, very well. Now, these seeds all have something in common, or the plants, and that is that they are nightshades. Now, that means that they all... Hi there. Today is an exciting day, and that's because we get to plant our tomato seeds. In addition to the tomato seeds, we're also going to plant eggplant, and I'm going to replant a few pepper plants that didn't germinate for me. Now, these plants have something in common in that they are all nightshades. They all like things to be warm. They require being placed on a heat mat after you plant the seeds into the soil. The soil temperature needs to be kept at 72 degrees to 85 degrees in order for them to germinate. So once we do plant these seed trays, I'll take them into my racks where I have heat mats and lights, and I'll place them there. I'll put a humidity dome over each of the trays, and I will keep that humidity dome on these trays for a few days. There's a lot of conflict over whether a humidity dome is a good thing or a bad thing. I like them, but not for the entire process. I feel like the first few days it gives the plant, or the seed rather, a chance to really be moist and warm and start its germination process. With the soil that we have here, you can see that I have seed trays, and I've gone through, and each one of these seed trays I've put an indentation in 1/8 to 1/4 of an inch deep. The soil was pre-moistened before I actually put it into the seed trays. I like to do that to make sure that the soil is a consistent level of dampness. Now, I want that soil to be moist but not mud, and for me that's very helpful to know that I have a consistent level of moisture. Now, in these holes, I'm actually going to put one seed into each hole. Some people say put in 2 seeds. I'd rather just use 1 seed. I usually do have a really high germination rate, and it's early enough still that in a week or so, if I have some that have failed, I can go ahead and I can replant those. Every day after you have put them under the grow lights or on the heat mat, you're going to check for moisture. I'm trying very hard this year to do what the experts tell me to do, and that is to bottom water. Bottom watering is healthier for the plant. It makes the roots go down for the water. But when they're so young, sometimes I feel like bottom watering just isn't getting the moisture to where the seed needs it. So I will occasionally mist the top of the surface of the soil to help with that. The reason that they don't want you to top water, especially when they're at this early stage, is that you could easily displace the seed and it won't be in an ideal location for germination. The other thing that can happen is once they've germinated and you have small seedlings, you can actually damage those plants by pouring water over the top. Again, a mister is far more gentle, and I think you would have less of that displacement, and you would have less damage if you were to damage the small seedlings. Now, once the seedlings have germinated, I like to keep mine on the heat mats for about 2 more weeks. Some people will tell you to take them off immediately, but I think these are plants that really like the soil to be warm. They came from warm places, and I'm going to keep them warm until they're just a little bit older. Another thing that you want to do is you want to make sure that you label each type of seed that you're planting. The last thing you want to do is have a bunch of seed trays with seeds and go, well, which kind of tomato is in that tray? So make sure you do label your seed trays. And then what we're going to do next is we're going to go ahead and come back in a couple of weeks, and we'll take a look at the progress of the tomato seeds and eggplant and the peppers, and we'll go from there. If you have any questions about planting your tomatoes, eggplants, or peppers, please ask in the comments below. The next video that we're going to be doing is on broccoli, kale, collards, and that's going to come out pretty quickly because those seeds need to be planted pretty soon as well. All right, thanks for listening, and we'll talk to you next time.